members, staff, appellants, and citizens to the April 12th Board of Zoning Appeals for the City of Mishawaka. Before we get into the regular agenda, I'd like to say a couple words about Charles Kruger, who passed away. Charles passed away on March 14th, and he was a dedicated and proud Mishawaka citizen. He was on this zoning board for 39 years. Amazing. Sat next to me, and I used to call him the best dressed man in Mishawaka. He was kind, considerate, and what I really liked about Charles is he loved conversation. It wasn't just superficial. He really dug deep into conversation. And we all know him, Chuck just kept busy all the time. Always came into the meeting 1 minute before it started, which was always interesting, but we loved him for it. Chuck was a friend to everybody who knew him, and he will be dearly missed. And I'd like to just take 20 seconds for us to think and pray on Charles Kruger. Thank you. Thank you. Is there anybody else on the board here that would like to say a few words?
Well, since I now all of a sudden became the old man of the board, Chuck was just, you could only describe him as neat. He was just a neat person. He accomplished a lot in his, he was proud of, I think, 84, 85 years, and was a very accomplished man. Worked for the city and enjoyed every minute of it. And there wasn't much that you couldn't like about Charles Kruger. He was just a special person. And he will be missed by a lot of people in a lot of venues for a very long time.
Well said. Thank you.
Yep.
And then a quick introduction of Denise Graves, who has been appointed by the mayor to this board. Denise, would you like to introduce yourself and just say hi?
Hello, I'm Denise Graves. Lived in Mishawaka all my life, except for when I went away to school, but came back and met my husband, and that's the end of my story. Here I am, so thank you.
Good enough welcome. And thank you for serving. That brings us to the introduction of the staff. In the very back, I see Mr. Ken Prince, Executive Director. Krista Hill, to my right, Senior Planner. Shad Annis, Associate Planner. Carrie Myers, Administrative Planner. And to my left, we have Derek Spear, City Planner, and David Bent, the Legal Counsel. Carrie Myers, would you please call roll?
Larry Stilson.
Here.
Michael Portalease.
Present.
Chris Torty.
Here.
Denise Graves.
Here.
Joel Dendu.
Here.
Excellent, thank you. And we'll look over the rules of procedure that's up on the board to my left. We'll first hear a presentation by the appellant. For each item, we will ask those participating in the room to speak first, followed by those participating online. For those who wish to speak in favor of the appeal, will get a chance to speak. For those who wish to speak against the appeal, if you have just questions about the appeal and you don't know if you're for or against it, I suggest you come up during the speak against the appeal portion. Then we'll accumulate all of our questions and we'll have a right of rebuttal for the appellant, and we'll get all those answers from those questions that we have. We'll have a board discussion and then a board vote. The previous minutes were distributed to the board members, and we had a chance to look at them. Is there any changes or additions to those minutes?
No.
I'll take all those in favor of approving those minutes say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? And those previous minutes pass. Are there any conflict of interest on any of the items in the agenda tonight by the council members?
No.
Nope, hearing none. That brings us right into the first item, public hearing, appeal number 22-05. An appeal submitted by Mishawaka Commons LLC requesting a use variance for 502 West McKinley Avenue, formerly CVS, to permit an event center assembly hall with bingo in C2 shopping center commercial zone district. Is there somebody here to speak in favor of Appeal 22-05? Hello, name and address for the record, please.
Yes, my name's Chad Harper, and my address is 10231 Conover Drive, Granger, Indiana. Good evening, Board. We started with this Celebrations, it used to be Celebrations Unlimited, now it's Celebrations Palace right back here is my venue that I have currently right now. And we started doing the bingo for the wrestling club for Mishawaka and for Pitt High School for our non-for-profit, and it's kind of grown, and it's grown to the point where there's no parking over here on 4th Street over here. So therefore, we went to go look for another venue, and we've been working with the Mishawaka Commons Corporation, and I think we've got a good space, a good plan, and I think it'd be a good location for us to have a more of a gathering center for assembly, and also good more parking for the bingo events. So what we're looking for is that it is zoned as a C2 for retail and not as an assembly. So that's where we're asking for approval to have an event center gathering place here at this location for us to be able to have bingo and gatherings there. I will still have the Celebrations Unlimited. I still will be doing, I always will do the Mishawaka alumni and all the Mishawaka football stuff. That's all going to stay in the Palace. We'll still do baby showers and small stuff at at Celebrations. But just for larger events, we're trying to, right now we do about 70 to about 90 people for the bingo, and we'd like to double that, like to do about 150 to 160. And this space would allow that for us to do that with the parking, with that one. I think that's, any questions or?
I have one question. So can you talk to me about the food service? So obviously at your other place, right, there's people.
Yeah, so since we started, I started the bingo. I wanted to do it right before COVID, April 2020, and then COVID hit, and so then I kind of after COVID, we started doing the food services, and then we started doing kind of catering with the skillet, and then we did some other local. But what we noticed in bingo, honestly, people just will call Domino's. They will just do the prepackaged Little Debbie's sweet snack. So we're not going to be cooking in the logo. It's just going to be a prepackaged food. Is what we're going to, like a concession stand is what we'll be selling. So ice and sodas and stuff like that. Because we've noticed that when we try to do dinners, we do that. The players, they're there to play. They're not there to have a nice dinner and drinks and stuff. So they're just to play bingo, have a quick bite, a Little Debbie sugar snack, and that's pretty much what we're going to have as a concession stand over there. So we won't be putting any type of kitchen or any type of hood or anything in like that. It'd just be like a little concession stand for that.
And you're aware of the recommendations that are on here, the life safety issues for the fire and the things that need to be done for approval, right?
Yep. So I walked through with the fire marshal, and I also walked with Bo, just to kind of get a good idea. Because before I just want to make sure I knew what the onion was before I really got into there. And so I got a good plan, and I know what we need to do for the doors and the occupancy and for the load with the fire marshal. So they kind of told me how I have to white box it, if you will, for that location.
So your sole use is bingo. That's your plan.
Well, and it'll also be for gatherings, for large gatherings as well, because the celebrations, it really only can hold about 200 people, and that's tight with that one. This could hold 200 people with a lot of space where people can actually enjoy themselves a little bit more with that one. But yes, I would say sold would be bingo. 90% would be the bingo use.
Will you offer it for outside rental like you do celebrations?
And that's something that we wanted to keep it. So it's, so when we do the tables, all the tables are going to be, you're going to be able to move them around. They're not going to be, built into the place. So yes, we can move it around to cater to any type of function that we would need. And I was going to keep that open, obviously, because bingo by state, you're only allowed to do 3 times a week. So then that gives me 4 more days of, what else am I going to do with that space? So I will still have it available. So if someone wanted to do, say, a gathering that's too big for the palace, I would take them over there, and they could have their event over there. A little more space.
And the number of parking spaces that you note here, is that the entire area inside that strip mall?
Yes, for that property. I think there's a picture of the parking there, and you can see that. And that's for for that land there. And of course, there, so I think that right there is like 200 parking spots there, close to 200. That's another, the arrow map there. You can see the whole lot, how it goes around there. So yeah, so you would have enough for 200 people maximum for the parking, so it wouldn't have to be a parking variance added as well. So that's, so right now, you guys are very probably familiar, there's no parking over there for me at all, and that's one of the biggest complaints, and, the people trying to walk through and park in front of, people's houses, and that's what I don't want, I grew up in Mishawaka too, so I noticed that we just park and it's just cars are double parked, some double park. And sometimes, and honestly, I didn't know much about bingo. I never played bingo. I'll be honest with you. And I just did this for fundraisers for the sports clubs and for the high schools. And it just kind of picked up, and I had the right crew to do this. And people were driving. People drive from Maryville. People drive from Benton Harbor. People are driving from Kokomo to come here to come play bingo. I could not believe it. And I was asking, I was like, well, why? They said, well, because it's clean, all right, and it's safe, but you have no parking. And it's just hard to get into. And it is. That's a hard place to get in and out for people to come for gatherings. And so that's just my only complaint was that. And so what I noticed was happening was that people were driving from Maryville, people were driving from Kokomo, Fort Wayne, and once I get to a certain 125, I turn them away. So that's now I got mad people. People are mad at me. And I just had to do that just for fire safety and just for everything else. So that's kind of why we're in this predicament, why we want to kind of go a little bit bigger, and we think we found a good place for us to have that, and it has a good face with that one, and would run a nice clean facility there for us.
Great. Thank you.
Yep, thank you.
Is there anybody else in the chamber council here or online that wish to speak in favor of appeal 22-05? Is there anybody in the chamber that would wish to speak against appeal 22-05? Or online? Hearing none, that closes the public hearing. And is there any questions about this?
I would just like to say that I'm pleased to see the building being utilized, and good luck to you. And I've been over on Laurel Street several times, and it is it is a challenge. It is a challenge. It's a great venue, but it is a challenge. Yeah.
And I have to agree with him. I think it's great seeing unused space reutilized. My only concern is there's other properties in there that are vacant at the moment. So if you're dedicating all the parking places to yours, I'm curious what's going to happen in the future if something else moves in next to you that wants 100 spaces. Then we suddenly have a conflict.
So I guess it's a good thing.
Hold on a second. I closed the public hearing, so actually you can't come up. So it's just kind of comments back and forth. But is there any other comments?
No, I'm just concerned if something else moves into that plaza, we're going to have some parking issues.
Sure. Things to deal with. Excellent. I will take a motion on appeal 22-05 from the
I move that we
members.
approve Appeal 2205.
I'll second that.
We have a first and a second. Carrie Myers, would you please call for the vote?
Larry Stilson,
Yes.
Mike Porterly,
Yes.
Chris Torty,
Yes,
Denise Graves,
Yes.
Joel Dendrieu.
Yes.
and that passes unanimously.
Good luck.
Moves us down to appeal number 22-06, an appeal submitted by Amber Grennert requesting a developmental variance for 1540 Troyer Trail to allow a solid fence with a 2-foot exterior side yard setback. Hello, name and
Hello.
address for the record, please.
Amber Grennert, 1540 Troyer Trail, Mishawaka, Indiana 46545.
Hi.
Hello, hi. Yes, I am looking to build a privacy fence. The lot there, I'm on the corner, basically, between the alley and Burkett, and the trailer park is right behind me. We get a lot of people that walk on that sidewalk in my yard, animals in my yard. There's really not a lot of privacy And I was told before that if I did a fence on the side of Burkett, that it would have to be a 4-foot picket fence. Again, that doesn't give me much privacy, and with that, if I did a privacy fence, it has to be like 12.5 feet from the property line, which I know I wrote a lot of stuff on there, so it's kind of hard to see, but it basically takes more than half of my yard away if I was to do a privacy fence. I do have a dog myself, and he can jump pretty much 4 feet. And also when people walk by, he kind of goes crazy. We would take him out on a leash, so it's just harder. We have to pull him in every time somebody's walking by. And just again, honestly, I had a break-in, well, almost a break-in, and police have been out there a couple times. My back screen door got broken. Somebody was trying to get in there. So it's just, privacy is a huge thing for that location. The police did say that is a prime area, because I'm right on the alley, I'm right next to the trailer park. It's like a grab-and-go area, so I would really like to have the privacy part, especially.
And the fence isn't in yet, right?
Correct, no.
Okay, and I see that you got staff recommending approval, which is great, and, but with an 8-foot corner cut.
Correct.
You agree to doing the 8-foot corner cut?
Yeah, I will do that.
Okay. Is there any other questions for Mrs. Renner?
Isn't that for visibility,
Yes.
the corner cut?
Well, no other questions, thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Is there anybody else in the chamber or online wishing to speak in favor of Appeal 22-06? Is there anybody in the chamber or online wishing to speak against Appeal 22-06? Hearing none, that closes the public hearing. Any discussions? Any notes?
No additional comment.
I will take a motion on 22-06.
Make a motion that we approve Appeal 2206.
Second.
We have a first and a second. Carrie Myers, would you please call for the vote?
Larry Stilson,
Yes.
Mike Porterly,
Yes.
Chris Torty,
Yes.
Denise Graves,
Yes.
Joel Dende.
Yes.
And that passes unanimously. That brings us to appeal number 22-07, appeal submitted by Top View Holding Group LLC, requesting a use variance for 309 Bittersweet Road to allow 3 tenants in a building in the C1 General Commercial District. Hi.
I'm Andrew Zaremba. I live at 52088 Covered Wagon Trail in Granger, Indiana.
Could you spell your last name, please?
Z as in zebra, A as in apple, R as in reed, E as in elephant, M as in Mary, B as in boy, A as in apple. It's Polish.
My wife's
you've spelled it a few times.
my wife's a Shemansky, and happy Dingus Day coming up.
A couple years ago, my partner and I, we purchased this building. It used to be a dollar store. It's
Yep.
across from Martin's. We share the parking lot there with a Citywide Liquor Store. And we built the Twin Branch dental portion. We've been open for about a little over a year, doing dentistry there. And on the other side there, we have about 4,000 square feet of our 7,000 square foot building that's we've been wanting to lease out. Any interest that we've had with the building has been smaller tenants instead of someone who wants to lease out the entire space. Right now we have had a letter of intent from a mobile cell phone company. We've had some interest of people who've sent in for what could potentially be that middle space there, which would be a physical therapy group. So we're in hopes that we can have 2 tenants there, including us being the 3rd tenant, to have potentially a cell phone company and a physical therapy group to share with us there in that little complex. I don't know if you have any other questions or anything like that, but that's what we're looking to do.
Questions? No questions, thank you.
Thank you.
Is there anybody in the chambers or online that wish to speak in favor of 22-07?